What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're back. Okay, so Detox Dudes is operating at about 75% right now. I just bought a house. We moved in. It's a huge deal. Not sleeping so well yet. We have not even a couch yet. Just furnishing the place, moving, having a baby. It's a lot, all right? It's a lot, but it's no excuse for not having a video this week. What I want to talk about today was something that's coming up a lot in my clients. A lot of clients have been reaching out to me in the last few weeks about, hey, I found mold in my house, or basically what's happening is a lot of people are spinning out, okay? And a lot of people are miscalibrating a spiritual, emotional, energetic low for something because it's a little bit of a shadow side of this holistic healing journey when you start learning about everything, like mold and heavy metals and the liver and toxins and all the different things that could be going wrong with a human body. On one hand, you're armed with a lot of information that normal muggles don't have. But on the other hand, when you're in a low, you can use this information can turn against you. And you begin to obsess over external variables that you need to try and perfect, like whether it be geopathic stress or mold in a house or heavy metals flowing through your system, or you were subjected to this, you took this pharmaceutical and it did this to your hormones. And there's just a whole litany of things that you could fixate on when you're in a low. But what I wanted to talk about is that, the thing is that every single human being, especially if you're sensitive, especially if you're awakened, especially if you're attuned, you will go through natural rhythms. There's rain, there's sunshine, the moon waxes and wanes. There's rhythms in this universe that are natural. And the etheric, which is the chi, the energy body, is very much connected to these natural rhythms. So some days I wake up and it's a Thursday, so that means it's a work day. But I literally will wake up and put a documentary on Netflix and chill out for 2 or 3 hours, drink a cup of tea, and stay super quiet internally on a work day. Why? Because I know that is what my natural rhythms need. My mind wants to make money and grind and make sure you don't upset anyone, and you got to make sure you answer them. But internally, my rhythms inside of myself, I just need to chill. And that chilling is like a composting, a digestion, a metabolizing that actually allows me to come back the next day or later that day with genuine enthusiasm, not fear-based, burning the adrenals, I have to do this. It's like, oh, I get to do this because I rested. Once I rest, I get to show up again in a natural, enthusiastic way. So what you have to understand as a human being, and it's very, very hard to get this in the lows, is that sometimes your lows are just lows. There's no reason. You don't need to grasp on anything. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to upheaval your house for the mold. You don't need to do anything, okay? And what I want to explain to you is the power of emotions, the power of what I've observed through retreats, through Spirit of a Man, through being connected to spiritual communities, through being connected to healers all around the world. There are a whole host of symptoms that have complete energetic, emotional ties. You change the energy in the person and the symptom goes away. Okay, yes, mold is toxic for you and mold is not good for you. And you obviously want to mitigate mold whenever you can. But a lot of the times, the reaction in the body to a particular substance, whether it's mold or a heavy metal or this pharmaceutical or that, whatever it is that flared you up, a lot of times that's only 30 to 50% of the actual cause. The other cause, most of the time, the majority of the cause, is our own internal structures and reactions. And the more wounds you have, the more trauma you have, the louder these reactions are. And the reactions are what kill you. And this is along a spectrum. If your house is loaded with mold, okay, that's obviously a major hindrance and you have to remove yourself from the situation right away. But if you have small exposures of things and they create massive inflammation or your system shuts down, what this falls under is, this is a quote, it's yesterday's integrity is today's instability. And what that means is, because like a lot of the clients, right, will come to me and they'll say, this happened, I'm so upset, I fucked up my flow, I was feeling so good, everything was perfect, and I fucked up my flow, and now I'm having a setback. But what you have to understand as a human being is, when we talk about resilience, when we talk about sovereignty, because that's what this journey's about, it's not about being in a bubble, healing yourself in a bubble, and trying to be perfect all the time. Life is messy. Life is going to get messy. And you got to be able, like a soldier, like a Navy SEAL, like a warrior, you got to be able to be resilient. Yes, you want to be connected to your heart, have love, be connected, and have spirit, not just be a mindless soldier who's closed and has no connection to the other half. But we have to be careful we don't go too much into the world of everything needing to be perfect. And so what I'm trying to say is that as a human being, we're trying to build integrity, structure, resilience, okay? And when you fall off from a mold exposure, you fall off from something that hits you external, it's only revealing to you that you're unstable somewhere. There is an instability in your system. And it gives you an opportunity to create a new level of integrity, within days after that, to seal the gap, seal the holes, and find a new level of wholeness. And that journey never stops. Okay. Now, if you are playing devil's advocate here, if you are just switched off, have no emotions, all you care about is money and success, winning and domination, and you're taking loads of supplements and testosterone and you're jacked, well, you would look at this video and be like, you're just trying to validate a weakness. That's the paradigm of this like this masculine culture that you see on Instagram. But I will tell you that underneath the facade, every human being has natural rhythms, ups and downs. There's just no one who sustains perfect, unless you're enlightened, perfect states truthfully. They might have the illusion of being in a perfect state, but it's not true. What does that mean? Well, it means that there's a reservoir of unprocessed emotions under the surface that they just step over and overcome. Well, that has a cost. Everything in the universe has a cost. That has a cost. That will age the shit out of you long term. It'll also make you closed. It'll also make you narrow-minded. Okay? So what I'm saying here is on the awakening journey, and I know it's a little bit all over the place here, on the awakening journey, it's not a setback. It's an opportunity. The universe is showing you where you have work to do, where you have a loss of integrity, and where you can seal the holes to have a new level of integrity tomorrow. And by the way, it will get torn down again. That is constantly happening. There's no structures that you create that are eternal, that I figured it out. I realized this is the answer, and now I will never have a dip below my baseline again. It doesn't happen like that. The human experience is one where you get to choose your center over all of the distractions, all of the chaos, and all of the storm. And you get to be in the eye of the storm. You cultivate the eye of the storm, and you're watching and witnessing everything. But you're still tethered to the core you, while everything else is fluctuating, always fluctuating. But the you inside, the depth inside, that seed inside, that is what you get to create, and that's what you get to stand in. So always remember that whenever you have a massive setback or whatever you want to look, it's just the universe showing you, okay, hey, you were weak here. This is an opportunity for you to now step into an even deeper, more profound power and wholeness and integrity. So the other thing I want to say is that, a lot of people who were sharing with me in the last few weeks about these major reactions that they've had, and they're moving houses, and oh my goodness, I bought a house, now I have to sell the house because I found a little bit of mold. These types of reactions where life-altering decisions happen because you found a little bit of mold. And these are strong people that have come my way about this in the last few weeks. But here's what you got to understand, okay? The more you repress emotions, the more you are liable to get hijacked by a reaction like this. The more you repress, the more susceptible you are to get completely and utterly hijacked. Because what happens is you can have a person in a normal, natural low. Now that low is even deepened because they have unprocessed pain, unprocessed trauma. They're not in touch with their emotions. They're living out of alignment and out of integrity with their true self, okay? Which is very, very, very common today. It's an epidemic. And then what happens is that low will take epic proportions because there's no ability to be present, to be okay, to watch, to witness, and to digest and allow. And so there's a fixation on the low. And then these types of people usually are obsessed with control. So then you have to control the outcome. Now I'm going to move houses. This whole mechanism is being a slave. It's not sovereignty. Now, again, I'm making generalizations here. Sometimes you have to move with mold. But the theme that I'm seeing is due to energetic lack of awareness, people are making massive life decisions from reactions. Okay? And the decision to move might be the right decision, but you got to calm down the reaction first. Again, guys, I know this is a little scattered, but the theme that I'm pointing to is the more disconnected from emotions you are on a day-to-day basis, the more susceptible you are to being, boom, taken for a ride when something hits a low. Okay? So the solution, the answer to all of this is, of course, that everyone must get in touch with deep emotions. Everyone must get in touch with their core self. Everyone must learn how to take away all of the armor. I work with a lot of soldiers, even Navy SEALs. I've met about 5 of them in the last couple months. They all have a very, very specific flavor. It is like a warrior armor and helmet that they put on during training and during war that was their best ally during war and now is their worst enemy. Okay? It's their worst enemy. And they can't take it off, and they have massive reactions to certain things, certain situations, certain ailments, because they're wound up tight. Okay? And again, on this healing journey, we must get in touch with deep, deep vulnerabilities. All right, so I'm losing it here. I told you guys I'm operating at 75%, but hopefully I passed you some wisdom here. Okay? Just spur of the moment thing. See you next week for the next video. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. See you soon. Peace.